Hello and welcome to the video 3 of creating the weapon switching system. So in this video, we'll start by completing the player model's animation events and creating rig weight setter script, which is going to help us when you have to review animations. So how this is going to work first is we are in the player control script, so we're going to move the player model script, and in here we'll start defining the new events that we need. Firstly, I want to make the playfoot sound private, because private functions are also available for animation events to call, so there's no need for making them public. Alright, now let's just start defining these functions that I was talking about. So the first one is a weapon switch complete, and we take in the animation event as the animation data, and we need to call the function on weapon switch complete, and we actually don't need that animation event data. For the switch between rifle, we need the animation events data, and also we need to call the function directly in the player controllers switch between rifle with the in parameter, and then we need actually 5 of these. So the first one we'll just rename to switch between pistol or knife, and just change that as well in the play controller. Then for the next one, it's switch from pistol or knife to rifle, and then for the play controller, call the correct function as well. Then again, I'm going to call the correct function after assigning the name, which is switch from rifle to pistol. And right here, we have a function switch from rifle to pistol, and we have switch from rifle to knife, which is also the same function in the play controller script. Then we need a function for the holster function, and then we need to call holster on the actual play controller. And then we need the private void unholster and the stakes in the event data. I'm just going to rename all of these. That makes more sense. Instead of animation data, it's the event data. Then in the unholster, we just want to pass in the unholster with the event.in parameter. Let's move into Unity, and now let's create a new script, because we need to set this weight every time the play mode is stuck, because by default we're going to set to 0, so that out of play mode we can preview animations without the rig overtaking us. So simply a start function and a rig reference will do it for us. We just need to assign the weight to 1, and we'll just have a range just in case they want to set it something else. And this is a variable there. And then I want to remove the usings that are not needed anymore, and we need the header for settings. We need to use Unity Engine animations already. I'm going to put that on top. And save and get out. Simply add the component here and assign the rig and set that to 1. By default to 1, so that when we add the component, it should come up. Then I want to give it icon of the custom script icon, because see, it's doing something for the animation rigging system. But now the next thing we need to do is update Animator to perform the weapon switching animation that assign the references that we need for the player controller. Let's create a new blend tree inside the Animator. On the upper body layer, we'll call this state perform weapon switch or holster, and we'll set the transitions directly based on the trigger. So the first one that's going to trigger, we need a trigger which is perform switch or holster, and we'll use that here. So firstly, the name has to be exactly the same. We also need a weapon switch type, which is another float. Right there we have it. The name should be exactly how it was. And then right at the top right here, I actually don't need this hash, I guess. Maybe we do, but let's have a look. So it's being used one time over here. If you find references, it's used right here. So as you can see, we need to use this. So by default, we want to assign this to 0. And I'm just going to make some things neat looking. Now here we want to give in the perform switch or holster trigger, so that when this is triggered, we want to go into the perform weapon switch holster, so whichever one. Transition speed can be 0.15, and I'm going to set the exit time to 0.85, and then just disable ahead exit time. Similarly, I will set that to 1 at the exit time, and the transition duration to 0.1. By setting the exit time to 1, we actually mean that the full animation has to play. Then I want to just have these many things here. So firstly, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 8 of these. So we'll add a new state, which is 8. And there you are. We've got all of these 9 animations. Now, if you need the animations, I'm going to put these in the description as a link to GitHub link. I uploaded these files on GitHub. Now, I will not want you to, of course, they're from Mixamo, but, you know, I just put them there because I have modified them a lot, really a lot. I mean, so if you want them, just click the link in my description and get it. So now let's start playing around with these animations after assigning them correctly. We have got these events which I've already pre-assigned, and you might actually get this with the events. I think so. Yes, because when I was uploading it, I already had tested my stuff and had animation events, so hopefully you'll get them as well. If not, you can have a look. And you'll get the animation events, surely. Not that, sorry. So we need to change the speeds to 2 so that it's not as slow as it should be. So I'm just gonna change the blend free motions and speeds of all of them to 2. Now right here we need to assign the primary weapon, the secondary weapon, and all the other weapons. So firstly I'm gonna delete the pistol holder and the rifle holder and get the AWM weapon and the gun holder. And now assign the primary weapon to the AWM, the secondary weapon to the ART, and the sidearm weapon to the pistol that we have in the pistol slot, and the knife, which is the melee weapon. Now for the slots, slot 1, slot 2, and the pistol slot and knife slots are here. So the pistol slot and the knife slot. Next, we need the gun holder slot, which is another gun holder with the slot script. Okay, now the right hand follower. That's it. I'm going to create a new empty game object inside the hands empty game object, which is a child of the rig. It is the modifier of the hands weights. It's going to be a simple constraint weight modifier, and this will take in these 2 elements. There you go. And that way we can assign a reference to the hands IK weight modifier, and now I think we've got everything set up. Yep. Now I'm going to explain the input actions that I've made up to now. So as you can see, I'm going to open these up, and in these you'll see 4 new ones actually. First one is the switch to rifle. This one is a button type. It's basically a tap interaction, and switch to rifle has the normal key bindings for 1 and button node, which is the triangle button on a PlayStation controller. So that's it. Then to switch to pistol is a multi-tap count, which 2, and again use the same 2 keys. The switch to knife again use the same 2 keys, but this time it has a tap of 3. That's it. It uses the same 2 keys. This one also uses the same 2 keys, but this one uses a hold with a hold time, which is 0.35. Actually, setting default, I'm just going to go to 0.35. But the same key bindings are there. Let's delete the changes thing because I kept that for myself to understand what I need to show you. Alright, so let's save and get out. And if I hit play now, you'll see that we should be able to switch the weapon. So yes, as you can see, the weapon has switched just like we intended. And hopefully we can also holster the weapon or switch to the pistol by double clicking. And if we do a triple click, we should also be able to get to our knife. So pretty much is working. We can switch to the knife, as you can see, by triple clicking, and then place the back to pistol as well. We can switch from the knife, and that works pretty much perfect, I think. And then back to the rifle also does pretty much nicely. So as you can see, but we do have an issue because the upper body layer, we're not changing it. So let's do that right now. Change weight of upper body layer if holstered. So to make that work, we are going to have to enable maintain offset on the right click firstly. Well, that is something that we did not do earlier. But that's done. Now that's going to make everything really okay, I think. Now for the upper body, as you can see, this weight has to be modified, and it's pretty simple to do that. Thanks to the animator reference that we have. You need a float for the upper body layer weight, which is going to be what we're going to store as the layer weight, and you can assign to 1.1F by default. This is what we're going to manipulate using our system. So in the update constraints weights right here, we'll set the layer weight. We'll set it to, we need also a private int for the upper body layer name ID, or actually make this the ID. And maybe you don't even need it. Yeah, the index, sorry. The index cannot be found like this. You can actually go and say player animator dot get layer. You can get the layer from a name. So they can say get layer index, and we can pass in the name, which is the name. And now we've got the index, because without the index, you cannot set the layer weight. There's no set layer weight using the name. It's only index supported. So like that, we can get the index, and then we can set it using the index. Now, we can set the upper body layer weight field directly to a method alert from the get layer weight. And we can again use the upper body layer index. And then from that index, we will go to the target index, basically the target weight. Now the target weight, what is it? We'll define a target weight up here. Upper body weight is set to 1 by default, and if it's holstered or you're performing a switch, we'll set the upper body weight to 0, otherwise 1, and then we actually need to set it like this. So using the accurate speed and passing in the target one, which is the upper body weight. So that should be good enough. So as you can see, the animator is being called in other places. There might be an issue actually with this approach, because we need to assign the body layer weights directly to 0 or 1. We can target everybody there, wait, and we can set this something else. So how we'll do this here is, by done, we can just rename and that target everybody there, wait, and then in the animator, I guess we're gonna find the animator function and then just assign the layer weight there as well, because the animator function, anim function should handle as much as possible. Like, it can't handle triggers, but it can handle these type of things. So we'll set the layer weight also in this function so that it's more uniform system. So using the time to delta time. Yes, that should do it. Actually, we need to use a speed, so we're going to pass in a speed, which is going to be the angular peak speed, which is a default value up there, which is assigned. I'm going to use this one right here. We can use but we can actually use turning an in-depth time. So this field will be really useful, especially when you need to change this. So select field private float, and we'll pass in this thing. So we'll pass in the time amount, the same field, and give it the default value of 0.1f. This should work. Right, so we get the animal mapping speed that above this because that's float. Now let's go and save out of here, and the next thing we're gonna do is the clear structure cleanup. So let's do that. Alright, so first of all, just set the gun holder smooth time to 0.2 and the other slots to 0.1. Yep, so the playback slots, the leg slots, the rifles at 1 and the rifle slot 2. Should do. I'll create a new object called spine follower and child these two followers to it. And actually, before I do that, I will copy copy the center spine position and paste that to the spine follower. Then I will drag the center spine child and the clip projector and reset its transform position. Then I will drag one of them to the spine follower and remove from both of these two components of follow transform boss state update. And as you can see, everything still works just like it should. Everything should work and does work as you want it to work. So okay, we got the other weapon and it does work. So let's really new empty game object. I'm gonna call this the slots game object, slot slash sockets, and this will have all of these in there. So that's the slot slash sockets. Next up, while testing myself, I noticed an issue with the way layer weight. Now that we fix it, the reason for this is I mistakenly wrote up there. I'm checking for the switching as well, but while we're switching, we don't need to actually check for that. So if you have like we only need to check for holstered for the target upper body there weight actually. So for this to work again, it's pretty simple. We can change everything and simply actually the holstered is being assigned directly to something else, right? It's the I know it's the fact that we're checking for is performing switch as well, which is not good. So we just need to check for is holstered or holstered only. We assign it based on ternary operator and simply gonna check holstered, and we don't need to assign it like that. Alright, everything's done. Now let's get out. And it does work, but maybe it's a bit jerky. So to fix the jerk, we could make where's the animal speed? Let's try again. Not bad. Fast actually, that's not bad at all, I think. Yeah, okay. Alright, so change slots to smooth time and change settings on weapon switching animations. So actually I just want to change the slots smooth times to 0.2 as 0.1 was seeming too fast. So I'll set them to 0.2. Alright. Now let's go ahead and change all of these settings for these animations to original and bake into pose all of these and bake into pose on the Y annotation, not on the X. So not much difference, just that we are now going to have a uniform setting for all our animations. So everything does work. This is just an issue that I've not assigned correct settings yet, but we'll be going in the knife in a few later videos after we're done with the things. We still have another weapon system video to talk about. So anyway, it's just one thing I forgot, which is here. In the scope effect manager, instead of using this old way, we need to check if it's current weapon. and we want to do that code there and do this code here, and then delete this one. Save and get out, and it should all work. I'll change this to main settings. So that's it. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.